Hello everybody, 66 here, and today we will be discussing FTKs and more importantly, how to counter FTK decks. Because I've been seeing quite a few discussions on the brokenness of Gem Knight FTK and Pendulum FTK, and people have been saying, this is unhealthy for the game, when, well, there are counters. Now, it's not optimal to play these counters, and you will lose game one because you aren't going to be maining these counters. So FTKs aren't exactly a healthy thing for the game. I'm not saying that they're good. They are unique to Yu-Gi-Oh though, which is very, very good for, just the uniqueness aspect and how interesting winning on your first turn really is, and how you have to play around that in a way that isn't really a thing with many other card games. But yeah, I mean, there are distinct ways to counterplay FTKs post sideboard, which is why the side deck is so important in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's my understanding of it, is that the FTKs might not be the healthiest thing ever, but it's good to know counters so you don't get blown out by them at an event, alright? So we're going to be discussing a couple different counters today, starting off with Hanawada. Now, I've been really talking about this card a lot, and this card has first been really discussed with trick stars, like, Chain Burn isn't in the meta. Oh wait, it is in the meta! And people are playing Hanawada to counter trick stars, and I'm like, okay, and I look at the OCG, they have Plant FTK, it's like, we're just playing, like, DD Crow to counter it. That's a more universal thing, I guess, but, it doesn't prevent the other FTK decks nearly as well. DD Crow is a good counter to FTK decks as well, because a lot of them do use Graveyard, but, yeah, Pendulum FTK even, if they keep their Nightingale, like, in the grave to copy it, you can DD Crow that away, so that's also a really nice counter. But with Hanawada, people aren't going to expect it in any way whatsoever. People might play a Shiki Urashi when Flames of Destruction comes out to counter the DD Crow. With Hanawada, that's not really a thing, and it's a very simple effect. It's also a light, which is useful because VLS is at 3. You can send with Brilliant if your deck cannot play it normally. This might be a way for you to play Brilliant Fusion in your deck. It's a Fairy Tuner, so that's also good. It's a level 1 tuner, that's useful. And it has a quick effect. You can discard this card and you take no effect damage this turn, meaning if you're against Gem Knight FTK, Plant FTK, Trick Stars, or Pendulum FTK, this is just boom, wrecked, right? What I see that stands out about Hanawada is that not only can it counter the big damage FTK decks that are really toxic in a way, and they don't promote playing with each other, they don't promote interaction. This counters those, but so does DD Crow in a way. What I really like about Hanawada is the fact that it's also good in the Trick Star matchup, as if your opponent is really like, they're gonna set up Licorice, like 3 Licorice, they don't even search the reincarnation anymore because they're gonna kill you on draw phase. They're definitely gonna do that unless this sees play and they're expecting the Hanawada. They don't care about advantage at that point. They're gonna kill you on your draw phase, and they're gonna assume that you have no out. There's no way you can stop that. So if they use all the resources when you're down on life points to kill you on draw phase, and then you drop a Hanawada on them, then they're basically screwed because they could have wasted tons of advantage just to, get that guaranteed win. And all of a sudden, they didn't win. You dropped the Hanawada, and then you killed them. So it's very odd as a pick, and not too many people are talking about Hanawada, but in my opinion, it's a very interesting and very powerful card. People aren't going to be expecting it, which is good, going to make it good. You can also search 1,000 times under Trickstar by playing the Hanawada. They're going to be like, he's not going to search. I don't need a powerful field. I'm not going to die this turn. I'm going to have another turn to kill this guy, in the mentality of the Trickstar player. And then you drop Hanawada, search 1,000,000 times. You don't care about their Licorice anymore. It's no longer pressuring you. Like, even if it does 2,000 damage, you're 2,000 down against a burn deck. That's dangerous. But if you drop this, sure, you're down a card, but now you're free to play however you want to play. Reincarnation can still bandage your hand, but you're not taking an extra 1,000, 2,000 damage from it. So now, all of a sudden, you used your neg 1 and you beat your opponent's reincarnation neg 1. And who knows, maybe your hand is better than it was before. You take no damage through that. So now you're able to just kill your opponent. That's what I love about this little fairy, this little counter Karibo sort of guy. He is very, very useful, and it's a great side pick if you're really scared of FTKs or trick stars. It's just gonna blow them out, and they're never really gonna be thinking, oh, I have to play around Hanawada. Unless it becomes popular, they're actually gonna just, try to kill you straight up on your draw phase. You're gonna drop this, or they're gonna set up their Licorice, you're gonna drop this, and all of a sudden they're screwed. Well, they're not screwed, but you could potentially kill them now, and that's a good thing. You want to kill them before they kill you. Alright. That was Hanawada. This is a very interesting card, as I said, and I believe that, yes, this might see some play, and that if other people aren't playing it, then your opponents aren't going to be expecting it, and that you should test this card out, side it, and maybe get some free wins with it. Versus Trick Stars, Pendulum FTK, Plant FTK when that comes out, and Gem Knight FTK. This is just going to be interesting. They're going to be trying to play around the Ash Blossom, the DD Crow. They're not going to be trying to play around the Hanawada unless, again, it becomes popular. Now, the other card I want to talk about today, aside from DD Crow, because I already talked about that, and it's not too much. You banish their plant, you banish their Nightingale, you banish their Lapis Lazuli before they summon it. It's not that hard. This one is Gores, the Emissary of Darkness. So I'm just going to read this real quick because most of you probably know what Gores is, but you might not know its full effect because people don't really talk about the second effect. Okay, so this reads, when you take damage from a card in your opponent's possession, you can special them this card from your hand. You must control no cards to activate and to resolve this effect. Doesn't matter, it's turn 1. If summoned this way, activate the appropriate effect based on the damage. Okay, if it was battle damage, you special a token. It's attack and defense equal to the damage you took. So that's the whole thing where you attack with the lowest first to prevent getting blown out by Gores. That was a good way to see people's skill level, and it's like, okay, nobody's going to be playing this. It's trash. Chaos Hunter is a much better monster hand trap at this point. It's not that big. It's a battle trap that's way too slow. It's not even gonna be working on turn 1. What are you talking about? Well, let's read up on Gores' second effect. If it was effect damage you took, you special summon it, and then you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the amount of damage you took. So you get a free body on field that your opponent wants to out, because it's level 7, who knows what you're playing, right? They're going to be kind of scared. It's like, ooh, what's this guy playing? He might make a big eye. So they're going to be thinking like that. Oh, he's going to make a Tomahawk and get free links. They're going to try to deal with it in some way. And it could be like Kabazul Theory, where you just have it on the field, and your opponent doesn't want to spend resources to deal with it, and you just poke them with it, and it's going to do some damage. Same idea with Chaos Hunter, kind of, but with this one, you get to deal damage to your opponent. So if they're playing Pendulum FTK, they use Starving Enemy to do 4,000. You summon this thing and fire back at them with 4,000 points of damage. That sounds pretty freaking good if you ask me. Here's the kicker, okay? If Pendulum Magicians ever play Destrudo, which they probably will when Needle Fiber comes out, all you gotta do is wait for them to burn you, drop a Gores, and they're dead. Because they paid 4,000 off Destrudo, they got burned 4,000 from Gores, and now they're dead. See how effective that is, right? And they're probably gonna play Destrudo when Fiber comes out, because it's a dragon just like Darkworm, so they both work with Shrine and Ravine. They're probably going to be using Destrudo, at least I assume they are. It would be weird if they're not playing it for Fiber. That just makes a lot of sense to me. if they do start doing that, or any other way to just pay a ton of life points, this is gonna straight up kill the Pendulum FTK player, which is amazing. It's not so good against the other FTKs, like Gem FTK, you're sort of helping them because they can burn you for more now. But if you're playing Pendulum FTK and you can just side Gores, then they die from themselves. That's pretty neat. That's very neat. It's very interesting, right? Most people don't talk about this aspect of Gores, and it is a cheesy way to get free wins versus FTK decks that you probably don't like facing. You counter their degeneracy with your own degeneracy, am I right? And another thing with Gores is that it's not a bad card by itself. No one's expecting it. A lot of players that maybe they haven't been playing when Gores was still meta relevant, but they're pretty good players today. They just haven't been playing for that long. They might attack for their strongest monster first and get blown out by Gores, and that might keep you alive. It's like Scapegoat keeping you alive on battle phase. It's not bad even when you're not using it for the intended purpose. It's a monster, so you can summon it with Firewall Dragon as a link material. It's just not a bad card by itself, and when it serves its purpose, it really serves its purpose. It's a free 4,000 damage win condition if they're playing Destrudo. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to discuss. Counters to FTK decks. That's me all for today, guys. Take care of you all. Goodbye.